Welcome to the Wyoming Women's Business Center's 2020 webinar series. Today's presentation is Selling Skills, course number 4, Presenting Features and Benefits. I'm Christine Langley with the Wyoming Women's Business Center, and I'm going to be your speaker today. Just to clarify, this webinar is the 4th in a series of 6 webinars focused on selling skills. Each session is recorded and available for viewing to all registered attendees. So you'll notice the GoToWebinar control panel on the right-hand side of your screen. I want to call attention to the questions panel. If you have any comments or questions during the presentation, I'd like you to use those to communicate with me. Now, immediately following this presentation, we're going to launch a survey. We've changed some of the questions on the survey, so for those of you that have been completing it, I appreciate it. I'd like you to stay on the line at the end and complete our new survey because it provides us and our funding partners with valuable information. Everybody's muted to minimize background noise today. So once again, if you have any questions during the presentation, just type them into that questions panel. Again, this is being recorded and I'll be sending you a direct link to this recording within 24 hours. So we're going to get started with some quick information about the WWBC, and then we'll dive into our topic today, and we'll finish with a short Q&A at the end. This is our new 30-minute format, and so we appreciate everybody joining us today on what might be your lunch break. So the WWBC is a nonprofit organization, and our mission is to enable and empower Wyoming entrepreneurs. We have a special emphasis on women who are economically or socially disadvantaged. And we do this through 4 distinct programs. So our first is our business counseling and training program, which is always free. The second is our microfinance programs, which offer microloans and individual development accounts. Third is the Artist Development Center. We run that in conjunction with our Works of Wyoming store and our Art Connect gallery in downtown Laramie. And lastly, we recently launched our COVID-19 support program. Now, this particular webinar series is brought to you by our microfinance program, and so I just want to call special attention to the microloan program. We can provide loans for those unable to get loans through traditional means for up to $50,000. And so if you'd like more information on this, you can contact our office. All right, so let's jump in by doing a quick recap of our sales funnel from our very first session. We talked about identifying the stages of our sales process using these terms, and our goal is to drive people from suspects to prospects, prospects to customers, and customers to advocates. And so while we're doing this, we understand that there's leaks in our funnel and that we might lose people or people drop out of our funnel as we progress. And so that means we need a really strong marketing plan to ensure we're always adding new suspects and prospects to the top of our funnel. Now, last week we finished our research call, and the research call contains the initial 3 steps of the selling process: opening, gathering information, and paraphrasing. So often in a complex consultative sale, which is what this training is for, this is really the stopping point where you have an opportunity to regroup and develop your pitch. Sometimes you might call it your proposal or your estimate, your quote, your presentation, whatever you choose to call it in your business. This is the time when you go back and do that, and then you return to the prospect. So you're going to use all the information you gathered in the research call to plan for your recommendation call. And there's times that you're going to be in a position, possibly, to continue on and actually close in your very first call with the prospect. And certainly if you can do that, I encourage it whenever it's possible. But preparing for a recommendation call and scheduling a follow-up meeting is really often the case. So for our example today, let's assume we're now returning for our recommendation call. And so today we're going to focus on steps 4 and 5 of the selling process, which is features and benefits, and then trial, close, and recommendation. Now, last week we gathered information using our open and close-ended questioning strategy. And we took notes and we organized that information by needs and facts by creating this T-chart. And so remember, we're always looking for at least 3 strong needs we can meet with our product or service. And so once we have those needs identified, then we're ready to paraphrase. So when we return to the customer for the recommendation call, we're going to circle back to the beginning of our selling process so we can recap and confirm before we actually start our recommendation call. And so on the screen in front of you now is the agenda for our recommendation call. And so we're going to start with a complete opening. Then we'll paraphrase the needs of our research call and confirm that nothing's changed. Next, we're going to transition into our features and benefits presentation. Then we'll do a trial close with a recommendation. So in our upcoming sessions in October, we're going to cover the close, handling objections, and wrapping up the sale. So what I'm going to do right now is role play these first 3 bullet points for you so you have an idea of what this might sound like. Hi, Shelley. This is Christine again with the WWBC. Good to see you. I'm so glad Tom suggested I connect with you about your online marketing, and I'm super excited to share some ideas I have to increase your website traffic. Do you have about 30 minutes for me today? Yeah, that's fine. Great. So let's just start by recapping what I learned about your business last time. I know you currently have 65 members, but you're looking to add another 100 members by year's end. You need to enhance your SEO strategy by linking all your social media with your website. But more importantly, you need a cohesive online marketing plan that brings together your organic search results with a paid advertising program. Has anything changed, or do you have anything to add? Nope, that covers it. Okay, great. All right, so this means we're ready to present features and benefits of our business that align with the prospect's needs. So let's start out by just understanding the definition of features and benefits. So a feature is an inherent characteristic of your business that doesn't change. It's kind of similar to a fact. And the benefit is the good that is derived from that feature. It's really the reason we care about the feature in the first place. It's that with them, what's in it for me? So I want you to be mindful about the importance of connecting your features to your client's benefits, because it's important to remember that your customer doesn't naturally connect the features of your business with the benefit to them. Sometimes we actually have to spell it out. So let's take a look at some examples. We know our client needs to increase their SEO rankings and build a cohesive marketing plan. One of our features that aligns with that need is our in-house experts in content marketing and SEO strategy. So when you think about linking a benefit to that feature, I want you to think about completing the following sentence, and that is, what that means to you, Mr. Prospect, is ... So if we combine a feature with a benefit, it's going to sound something like this. We have in-house experts in content marketing and SEO strategy. And what that means to you is we can offer a customized marketing strategy to drive customers to your website. All right, let's go through the next 2 features and benefits and see if you can follow along and role play with these with me. We also have experts in online advertising. And what that means to you is we have the knowledge and experience to know how and where to place online ads to maximize the dollars you've allocated to online advertising. Lastly, we have an online analytics dashboard you can access. And what that means to you is you'll be able to track the results of your SEO strategy and advertising campaign to ensure we're on track to securing those 100 new members. Now, because benefits is really what sells a customer on buying, It's always a good idea to layer a couple benefits and then finish with an ultimate benefit at the end of your statement. So I've listed all the ultimate benefits for both a company and an individual. These are the ultimate benefits that everyone is trying to get to. They're the final motivating factors for making a purchase. It always boils down to one or more of these ultimate benefits. So you may notice when you're gathering information from a client that they're either talking about their needs from the company perspective or from their own individual perspective. And really, either one's fine. We just want to use the ultimate benefits we think will be the best driver for them to buy. So in my example, the prospect was really focused on the company. So I'm going to focus on the company ultimate benefits. All right, the final step in scripting our features and benefits presentation is to get another yes from our customer. And for that, we're going to use what I call a tie-down question. Tie-down questions are really similar questions to gain agreement, like wouldn't it, couldn't it, shouldn't it, doesn't it, isn't it, right? This should be an easy item to add to this script. So let's tie all of this together, and let's be sure to layer your benefits for each feature that you present. A complete presentation of a feature with layered benefits should sound something like this. So we have in-house experts in content marketing and SEO strategy, and what that means to you is we can offer a customized marketing strategy to drive customers to your website, which means more eyes on your membership offers and more members signing up each month. And that means more monthly revenue for your business. And more revenue and profit is really what you want, isn't it? Did you catch all those layered benefits from just one feature? So see if you can identify some features for your own business, and then I want you to practice layering your benefits all the way down to the ultimate benefit, and then ask that tie-down question. So a lot of practice is going to be needed to really perfect this strategy and make it your own. So don't forget to find that role play partner. If you're struggling to find a practice partner, that's when you call somebody like me or another business counselor at the Wyoming Women's Business Center, because we love this stuff and we're happy to help you practice. Our business coaching is always free. All right, so let's assume you covered at least 3 features that match the identified 3 needs from your prospect, and you've layered your benefits and you got agreement from your tie-down question. Now it's time to test the waters with a trial close. Now, a lot of my clients say, well, why would we trial close before we make a recommendation? They don't even know what they're saying yes to. And the answer is, your prospect doesn't need to know the specifics before we do our trial close, okay? That's why this is a trial close and not an actual close. It's a trial. All we're doing is testing the water to see if we get an objection. And I actually hope that the prospect answers in a positive way, or I want them to ask me about the investment. What's the price, right? Both of those things are buying signals. So buying signals can be verbal, where they're asking for your recommendation, or they're saying yes to your summary, or the buying signals can be nonverbal. Nonverbal signs are things like people nodding their head, smiling, kind of sitting forward in their seat. All of those are buying signals. So on the screen now, you're going to see a few samples of trial close questions that you can ask. What do you think about our skills? How do you feel about what you've heard? How do you see us fitting into your marketing efforts? All right, so assuming we're on track, with an affirmative answer or body language to our trial close, it's finally time to make our recommendation. And so this can also be called a proposal or an estimate or a quote. Basically, this is the part where you identify your particular product or service and the investment that's required. And of course, there's a script for this part too. So when you're presenting your recommendation, I want you to remember that it's after you've finished presenting features and benefits and trial closing. And that means your prospect should be ready and excited to hear your recommendation, because the process that we've just gone through is the opposite of the show up and throw up method. And so at this point, they've been agreeing and saying yes all the way through your sales process. And so our recommendation format is really similar to the features and benefits format. And we're going to use those benefits again to drive home the reason the prospect should accept our recommendation. So let's role play this and try to identify each step in my example. See if you can hear the benefits, the ultimate benefit, and then the investment. When you write your own recommendation script, it should sound something like this. So I recommend you start with our gold package. And this package is going to support your needs for SEO results and online advertising, which means we're going to be driving customers to your website to inquire about membership. And it also comes with our dashboard, which means you can track what's working along with your return on investment. And so more potential customers signing up for membership and increasing your monthly revenue is really what we want. Now, the gold package investment is $1,000 per month with a minimum agreement of 6 months. All right, did you hear my layered benefits? Did you catch my ultimate benefit? So I want you to take some time to write out your own sample recommendation for your business. And again, find that role play partner to practice with. So remembering our selling process, along with the essentials of selling, we've now covered the first 5 steps of 8 in our selling process, and we've covered 3 out of the 4 essentials of selling. That means we only have 3 left for next month. All right, so I've left some time for questions. And so I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to enter in the questions panel, and I'll kind of monitor that while I'm going through some additional information and telling you about next month's webinars. So our program is made possible through lots of different partnership agencies, but our primary funding comes from the Small Business Administration and the Wyoming Business Council. And so, of course, we thank them for their support and guidance. If you're looking for a role play partner, here's some contact information for some of our business counselors at WWBC. You've got my information on the screen on the lower right-hand corner, and then our general office number if you were interested in our microfinance or microloan program. Please feel free to reach out to us, either phone or email. And then we've got 2 more courses coming up, course number 5 on closing the deal and course number 6 on overcoming objections. And we'll also cover wrapping up the sale in course 6. All right, so checking on my questions panel. I've got one question. This is a pretty common one that I get whenever I do this training. People say, well, it sounds okay when you say it, but I can't see myself speaking this way or saying this. It sounds too robotic. It sounds too scripted. I get that. I understand that. I think it's important that you bring your own authenticity to the selling process. And what I'm really trying to get across to you is that selling is a skill that can be developed with practice and over the course of time. And so the more comfortable you get with the process, the easier your authentic language is going to come into play. So this is really understanding the structure of the sale and how it should be organized. So rather than calling the prospect and launching directly into whatever your product or service is and trying to kind of slam close that client, instead, you're taking them through a process so they can gradually move through your sales funnel. And so it's not that I want you to sound like me in your role play, it's that I want you to understand the construct that you're following. And then put in your own words and your own language, just make sure that you're hitting each point in the sales process and that you're layering those benefits down to an ultimate benefit. But it definitely needs to be authentic to you and it needs to be your language. So again, if you need some help on that, feel free to reach out to me and I'm happy to role play this with you and even take an actual situation that you're currently in, maybe trying to close a particular prospect and talk you through that process and do a little recap so that we can work on like a live prospect that you're dealing with. Happy to help you with that. Okay, I've got another question. What if you are, say, selling artwork in a gallery? Will this format work well? So it's possible. In a gallery setting, sometimes that can be a consultative sale. Other times it's an impulse buy. So it's more of a retail environment when someone's coming into an art gallery. But you can certainly use some of the skills that have been presented here. I always think it's a good idea to gather information first, even in a retail environment. And so your opening may sound a little bit different because, again, when somebody's just walking into a retail environment, a complete opening, you're not sure, what their interests might be at that point. So it might be better to just ask a strong, open-ended question to try and gather some information up front so that you know what direction to point them in. And so I would take a look at the skills and the steps in the process and maybe shorten it or modify it in a retail type setting. And again, if you want to role play that or you need some help with that, feel free to reach out to me. Another question is, what if this is selling healthcare, direct primary care and spa services? This sounds like it would work, ? It definitely could. Again, if you have a strong marketing plan, I don't know if people are contacting you or if you are cold calling and contacting them. You may have to modify your opening a little bit, but again, the structure of the call should be the same. You should gather information first. You should try to identify what their needs are. Once you know what their needs are, you can paraphrase those back to them and then align their needs with the features and benefits of whatever package or program you're selling to then trial close and make a strong recommendation of the direction they should go. So anytime you're in a situation where you're essentially consulting with a client or prospect on what they're going to choose, this selling process should work. This 8-step model should make sense. All right, thanks for joining us today. If you could just hang on the line a couple extra minutes and answer this new survey, we would really appreciate it. And we will see everyone the second week of October for our next course number 5 of 6. And again, everybody will be getting this recording if you were registered. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks so much.